Okay, so what happens when instead of worrying about the things we want to do, we focus on the things that we never, ever want to do again? Imagine a world, what would it be like in a world with emotional batteries that are not discharged throughout the day too early? Imagine the version of yourself that gets to enjoy the moment. Imagine the person that you could be in the present, thinking in the future, but not dwelling in the past. So I have many hats. I could be a technology consultant. I've worked in IT my whole life. Recently, it's probably more mentoring, teaching, and coaching. And everything that I love to do is about problem solving, all of it. I like to question the status quo. Okay, I ask why all the time. And so one of my problems is, my frustration, my pain point, is that when you ask for innovation, change has to happen. And the biggest problem that I have is change is required, and the people that I'm talking to could be, they could be difficult and stubborn, much like myself, right? So it's like looking in a mirror, and I understand that. So I want to figure out how to delete that. How do I delete the fear of change, right? And because I've lost my mind many, many, many times. Sometimes it's too much, just because I'm trying too hard to solve a problem. So convincing the inconvincible, I call it. So how do we make sure that people don't fear the least likely outcome and overcome the fear of change? And so, like I said, I've had this problem as well, and so I'm going to go into this with you right now. We're going to get into the root of it. And so number one, what you don't want to do can crash your day. Okay, I'm sure that everybody here can say the yes to that. And so I'm not immune to this either. So about 10 years ago, I was having the same problem every single day. And what happened was, when you look at yourself, you realize, I need maybe to talk to somebody about this. And around that time, that's probably when I met my mentor. And because I had to get this solution out there, which was, I was trying to work on my business while I was in my business. Okay? And this is a very, very common thing for entrepreneurs. And so when I had this opportunity to figure that out, I had met my mentor. And so I started writing down milestone events, which I'll get to, and they are all part of what I call critical life updates. And critical life updates drive me to this day, and they're part of my operating system. So, critical update number one, mentor. Okay, in a brief and strange event, I had met someone that was very wise, and we got along very well, and he decided that he was going to empower me with something that I had never had before. And so he asked me a question that I'm going to share with you all right now, and it basically broke my brain. So this is the first person that probably hacked me. They broke my mindset. Everything was changed after this, and I'm going to show it here for you. So what do you want? That's what he asked me, okay? And so there's no correct answer to this, but you will take this home with you. You will think about this probably all day, maybe all week, all the time, hopefully. And so basically, since I've been thinking about it all the time, I was ready for it. I was ready. And unfortunately, when you're ready for it, like I am, you give answers that are supposedly larger than life. And so I shouted out, "Change the world!" And then he said, "Me too." And then we've been friends ever since. Now, applying that all the time starts to focus you, right? Because what happens is, it modifies the way that you go about your day and your life. And you can goal structure changes, right? And so I started to develop for myself time-saving routines that would give me time to think about the rest of my life and what I wanted. And then I applied that in my work, and basically I was changing myself every single day. So, when you work in business intelligence or when you work in analytics, if anybody here is in project management or anything, when you work with benchmarking, you need data, right? You need to find out information so that you can figure out what to do with it, projections, etc. And so benchmarking your life is an extremely important thing here. And so I decided that instead of just discussing benchmarking, I was just going to show you some quotes because, this is TEDx and all. So you can't change what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure. If you can't measure it, you can't improve it. This is all data-based. You need to have data to figure out what to do, right? So if you don't have data on yourself, then you might not know what to do. So this is where we're going to go with this talk right now. So analysis, etc., proper direction comes from this. And so critical life update number two, data is everything. I mean, corporations know more about you than you probably know about yourselves. And so look at that introspectively, and you can understand where I'm going to go with this now. Because once you have all the information, you have the data, what do you do with it, right? And so that's where software comes in. Critical life update number 3. In my life, I realized that software is here to help. Now, the future of software and artificial intelligence, that's a whole other story, but we're going to stick right here, right now. And the purpose is to help human beings, right? And so if you have so much data and you need to do something with it, that's where software comes in. So everything written, all the code, has purpose to serve. It removes the need for you to spend time performing mundane tasks or works with you as a helper, right? And so this is probably where you're like, the robots, Jason? Where are the robots? And then I would like to reply with, oh, they're coming. Just slow down. Don't ask for them. They're coming. I didn't want to make this talk about artificial intelligence, but I will have to bring up machine learning because what I found in my discussions with myself and with other people is that artificial intelligence is already kind of here, right? Because machine learning is just basically processing data. And so I'm going to read to you something that I wrote down. So in brief, imagine there is a software that recognizes patterns in order to automatically learn and improve from experience. Basically, this is a subset of artificial intelligence that focuses on data to learn for themselves, or itself, depending on if we're starting to give it something already. So all you have to know is that it's here already and it's in society. So now how do we apply this to you? And this is what's fascinating about this, is that when I started looking at all the things I wanted to talk about, I started realizing machine learning is right there. And it's like, why do we want it? And it's like all about time savings. And I was having these like epiphanies. And so critical life update number 4, confirmation that time is the most valuable resource. And this I wanted to make sure that I got out there because a lot of people don't agree with this and it takes them some time to get beyond this. This is a requirement. You're not immortal. You have only so much time on this planet and you want to do the most that you can with it. So you got to figure out what to do with the things that you don't want to do, right? And so updating ourselves requires a little bit of understanding about our humanity. And so I want to update and refresh the humanities that you may or may not know right now about yourselves, okay? Because if we want to think like a robot, we're going to have to understand our weaknesses. And so we're all the ones with emotional intelligence and emotional association, so here we go. So your emotional battery, now I hope this is potent. Say every day you only have so much charge, and you only have so much energy to invest in emotional decisions per day. So discharging this on things you don't want to do subtracts from what you can invest in the things that you do. And so this is a very, very important human thing. This is human, right? So if we're going to think about working with ourselves as a robotic form of ourselves, you have to understand that this is not a weakness, but if you understand it, right? So busy work is dangerous. And so I've noticed a lot of people that find accomplishments rewarding, right? You get satiated by finishing a task list. I've been called task man many times in my entire life, and then I feel like it doesn't get anywhere because it distracts you, right? Because you're only investing that energy in things that you don't have to do. Micro distractions, this is common, this is a buzzword. I mean, I was thought about it and I typed it out and I was like, do you want to really show that on a projector, Jason? And then I thought, you got to do it. So make small distractions all the time, right? So if you have all these distractions all the time, you're wasting your emotional battery. Decision fatigue. This is deteriorating quality of decisions after making many, many decisions. So a lot of very successful people, what they do is they only have certain times of the day where they make quality decisions and then they don't make any decisions the rest of the day that would be very, very, they could be catastrophic for the rest of their life or their day or whatever. So as long as you understand that decision fatigue is a human thing, it's quite out there. And I wanted to mention accountability because this seems to be what a computer doesn't have to worry about. If it's blamed for something, no one cares, right? Accountability for yourself is something that is very difficult for a lot of people as human beings to kind of process. So, it's one of the human things that I find goes along with like humility, culpability, discipline, all that stuff. And so if you understand all this now we can go into the good part, which is functions of time. If everything is about time, and time is the most valuable resource, and we're dealing with machine learning, and we're dealing with data, and it's all about software, and we want to be better people, functions of time should be the thing that you do all the time. This should be your toolbox every day. So I'm going to give you my toolbox and pepper in a little bit of the robot, because if you're around me in my social circles, people would consider me a robot sometimes. And so here we go. Start your day the same time every single day. This is key. This is my favorite one. So if we weren't allowed to use our phones in here and put it on the internet, I would say take a photo of this. But it's so this is what I call the pre-9, the 9 to 5, and the post-5. Okay, these are your operational time zones, and these are very, very important for you as a person to understand. I operate best in my pre-9. I know I have to merge with the 9 to 5. And I know that my post-5 could be my time as well without the 9 to 5. But what I do in these times is basically how I I break down the day into 3 different time zones. So if you're thinking like a robot, you got preparation all laid out for you. You know exactly what you're going to do, and your emotional energy is only expended when you have to go into certain zones, right? So I'm a pre-9 person, and then my post-5 is my tear down, and that's when I do all my post-mortem, and I prepare for my 9 to 5, my pre-9. If that makes sense, hopefully. I think it was a little distorted there. And the other is schedule everything. Manage expectations. This is where you live by your calendar. I do this all the time. It seems to be the best advice I could give anybody. There's software for this. Focus on it. That's going to change everything. Disable notifications. I had a lot of argument on this one. This is where you turn your phone off, basically. I mean, if you want to get with it, let's just turn your phone off. Or invest in figuring out how your phone works with you. And then just turn off everything and only add what you need for whatever it is that you do and whatever your life requires. And most important first is prioritize. Remember, these are in my toolbox. I do everything ready for myself in my pre-9. And I'll get into this because I changed myself doing this, by the way. So it's getting very interesting. Do not read your email. This is just another rule that I like to, every single day I like to apply. Some people would say that this is not possible because I do depend on my email to kind of figure out what to do in my day or what I do during my day. But I'm going to call it premature emotional engagement. Save it for the 9 to 5. I swear, if you only look at it a half an hour before you start your 9 to 5 injection and merge, you'd be surprised at how better your life is, because you have all that other time not to think about anything that you could have applied. And that's usually how everybody works these days. And no rumination. This is why I love splitting the day up into 3. You got your pre-9, your 9 to 5, and your post-5. You can save it for your post-5. This is your post-mortem. This is where you get to see everything. Now, this might be a little bit all over the place, but I'm getting somewhere with this, because I literally know that everybody probably has problems with execution in a lot of ways. So, would you indulge me for a second? Just for a second. Problems with execution? Tired of being tired? Experiencing launch failure? Want to get off the merry-go-round? Are you a phone zombie? Not making your escape velocity? Are you choking on excuses? Are you plagued by micro-distractions? Are you living with decision fatigue? Are you experiencing complete empathetic shutdown? Now, so I have the solution for you, and it is the What Do You Want engine. And so what this is basically a very easy, free, open source, metaphorical device. It's a simple thought program that you can run every day to get your day started. This is how you machine learn yourself. So remember that. Where do you store these log files that you output every day? And where is this database? And so my critical life update number 5 is journal. I've been journaling forever. And so what I get to do with that is I get to see every day what I didn't want to do the day before. And so that's what this is for. It's write down everything you don't want to do. This is your crash proofing. This is your monitoring. This is your filtering algorithm. This is your error checking. And all it is a database for you. It's your accountability. It's your journal. And then I can't believe that all it takes is writing things down and seeing it for yourself. And the next thing, you've made a ritual. This is like the hardest thing to teach people, right? Routines into rituals. And so you've basically machine learned, yourself. You debugged yourself. You know what you don't like to do. You know what you do like to do. You've tried to focus on what you don't want to do. What you do want to do, so then you can give these tasks and these things to software or processes to others. It's amazing. You're basically machine learning yourself. And that is what thinking like a robot is, right? And so the challenge I had was to develop a simple, shareable mindset that would work out the bugs. I wanted to work out the bugs. So what happens when instead of worrying about the things you want to do, and you focus on the things you don't ever want to do again? Well, when you have the database, right, and you can add daily entries into it, what you don't want to do, and by using this algorithmic filter that you created based on the functions of time, some of them I just gave you right there, those are my toolbox, you might have your own, and by using this, the intended purpose is to find yourself in all the noise. And so I'm on day 33, and I've been running myself hard. And I run myself with most of the stuff that I've just talked about every single day. This time, rigorously, exactly the same thing all the time, and I also started picking up things about myself. So I can say right now, with absolute certainty, is that I am present. I haven't been for a long time, and I'm present. Like, I'm not in the future, I'm not in the past, I'm right here, right now. And that's what you want gets you. Because you can start to imagine that there's nothing, you can be here. And I can't believe that I'm able to say this to you right now on day 33, running myself really hard. It actually works, and I do this already, running my own program on myself. So I'm more of a pre-9 person. And so all the creatives that I do, I didn't know what to do with them in the morning, and now I do because I started running this program on myself, so it's fantastic. So now that I've run this on myself all day for 33 days, I've come up internally with a second version of the same device, the metaphorical device, and that is the Getting What You Want engine. Which is fantastic for anybody that's trying to get to that next level or they're trying to figure something out. Because knowing what you want allows you to be present, right? And you will find that better time management improves human communication. There'll be no more projecting. Negativity will be caught in your filter. I mean, it's right in front of you. You'll feel better operating in the 9 to 5. You'll inject operational joy in the 9 to 5. Your actions will become goal-driven actions, not just actions and mindless, responses like a lot of people have. This is your competitive edge. You'll immediately identify all the busy work. This might help with your exit strategy. You'll find larger goals and a larger purpose. This is your crash prevention because you can finally identify and reference all the triggers and prepare for them and avoid them. I just love reading that. It's just because I understand it, right? I understand how many triggers I could be every day to distract me, right? So all this is just a metaphorical device. It's a program, right? So in terms of mindset, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to quickly figure out how can I delete the fear of change and how can I reprogram the mindset just by figuring out how software works and machine learning yourself, right? And so this is something for everyone that is easily learned and shared. Like right now, it's inside you. And you never know, that might actually change the world. And that is something worth talking about. Thank you.